Princess Hao Liangya promises a grand wedding to the Golden Warrior, Xia Fengliao, once he unifies the continent. Xia Fengliao stands alone in a dark cave before the terrifying level 999 Demon King, Womafibula. With a determined cry, Xia Fengliao lunges forward, unleashing a powerful golden attack against the demon. He reflects on his 18 years in the army, leading the strongest humans to this final battle. Clang, he grits his teeth, vowing the millennia-long war between humans and demons will end with him. Xia Fengliao surges through the battlefield, a blur of motion and determination against the dark enemy. He declares victory for humanity, but the Demon King taunts him as a critical danger warning flashes across his vision. The Demon King initiates a self-destruct sequence to take the warrior with him, leaving Xia Fengliao speechless with shock. A massive explosion engulfs the screen as Xia Fengliao realizes with his final thought that he has died. In the fiery aftermath, a system window appears, informing him that he only has 2 minutes of life remaining. As he lays dying, a system message congratulates him on his sacrifice and offers him the choice of rebirth, which he weakly accepts. Reborn with white hair and small horns, he laughs triumphantly, only to be confused by the small demon children staring at him. He recoils in horror at his demonic hands, as an old demon archer named Yan Tai urgently warns of the approaching Blue Guild. Utterly bewildered, he asks if the old man is speaking to him, earning an angry glare from Yan Tai. He stares into a reflective surface and sees his new face, a young giant demon warrior named Gan Levo. He erupts in fury, demanding the system explain why it turned him into a demon, leaving his comrades to wonder what's wrong. A tiny system's spirit apologetically explains a bug caused his demonic rebirth and offers a new opportunity. Get killed again to be reborn as a human. Pop! The spirit vanishes, leaving him to process the shocking revelation that he needs to die again. The other demons gossip about how unreliable Xiaogan is, while he worries if his human fiancée will remarry. A D-class magician named Lamer frantically reports that 12 members of the Blue Guild are approaching and points to an escape route. A demon warrior despairs, stating that their B-class fighters are no match for the approaching human forces. As his comrades panic, Xiaogan realizes this is his chance. If the humans kill his demon form, he can be reborn. He suddenly sprints toward the humans, shocking his fellow demons, who scream that he's running into certain death. He pauses, confidently telling his stunned comrades that hiding from the problem is not the answer. With a heroic smile and a thumbs up, he declares he will hold off the humans alone so they can all escape. His fellow demons are shocked, questioning if this is the same cowardly Xiaogan they've always known. As he prepares for his glorious death, a purple magic circle suddenly appears, trapping him where he stands. A demon princess, Liu Bingyi, appears, vowing not to leave him behind, much to his rage as she's ruining his rebirth plan. He screams in pure frustration, desperately trying to break free of her protective magic. His punch only deals 1 damage to the barrier, hurting his hand. He calls her a meddlesome woman, leaving her stunned. The old archer, Yan Tai, furiously reprimands him for daring to insult her highness. Xiaogan clenches his fist, declaring they shouldn't underestimate a man's determination to achieve glorious sacrifice. Liu Bingyi blushes, suddenly seeing a manly side to him, while other demons suggest they just let him die. Resolved to stop hiding, he vows to die with dignity as a brave demon facing the human enemy. He pleads with his comrades not to stop him this time, as a tearful Liu Bingyi looks on. The old archer reluctantly leads the princess away, leaving Xiaogan. He gleefully greets the surprised human soldiers, taunting them to kill him with a single powerful strike. The human leader smirks, seeing an easy target, and commands his squad to take the lone demon down. As a magical arrow flies toward him, he thinks ecstatically of his impending rebirth into the human race. To his utter confusion, the human soldiers are suddenly ambushed and struck down by a volley of purple arrows. From a cliff top, the archer Yan Tai, now powered up, explains that demons grow stronger from excitement, much to Xiaogan's shock. Yan Tai recounts the history of human oppression since the Demon King's death, which made the demons see themselves as weaklings. Surrounded by a powerful aura, Liu Bingyi stands with her followers and fiercely declares that today, the demons will finally resist. The surviving human soldiers stare in wide-eyed shock at the sudden, unexpected turn of events. Xiaogan watches in horror as his comrades, led by Liu Bingyi, who has now evolved to A-class, slaughter the humans he needed to kill him. A terrified human soldier screams in panic, realizing their intelligence was wrong, and they are facing a powerful A-class demon. Liu Bingyi unleashes a devastating blast of concentrated purple energy upon the remaining human soldiers. Her powerful magical attack, Star of the Yard, descends upon the battlefield. A massive crater is all that remains of the once glorious Blue Guild. Staring at the carnage, Zhao Gan realizes with dread that not only did he not die, but he also leveled up from the battle. The scene shifts from the chaotic battlefield to the serene, glowing capital city of Yun Kingdom and the opulent Huo residence. Inside, a horned demon administrator, Mei Du Kao, furiously demands to know why their drawbridge plan has failed so miserably. A subordinate with red glasses bows his head in submission, confirming the catastrophic failure to his enraged lord. Mei Du Sao recalls their original plan, to let Princess Liu Bingyi get cornered by the Blue Guild in a desperate situation. The plan was for the heroic young master Huo Wujun to then swoop in for a dramatic rescue, winning her admiration. But the mission failed when Xiao Gen unexpectedly appeared, ruining Wujun's chance to win her heart and inadvertently awakening her power. With the plan in shambles, the subordinate looks on as his superiors, Mei Xiao and a red-armored general, regroup. The hulking demon general Huo On, Wujun's father, scoffs, declaring that all military power rests firmly in his hands. Huo An discards the failed scheme, vowing to use his military might to force the princess into marrying his son tomorrow. Unaware of the political scheming, Liu Bingyi relaxes in a rose-petal bath, thinking only of Xiao Gan's bravery as the drawbridge effect works on her. She calls for her maid, Lemaire, and orders her to bring Xiao Gan so she can reward him for his heroism. The maid Lemaire perks up at the word reward, her imagination running wild with a very risque scenario. While Lemaire rushes off, Xiao Gan drinks alone, ignoring a system prompt about unassigned attribute points. He furiously dismisses the system, shouting that assigning points will only make it harder for him to achieve his goal of dying. He laments his new elite demon status, worrying that being a D-class demon in this remote place makes it impossible to find someone to kill him. Just then, Lemaire bursts in, cheerfully announcing that Her Highness is calling for him, startling Xiao Gan from his morbid thoughts. In a drunken stupor, Xiao Gan grabs the flustered maid, desperately begging her to do him a favor and kill him. Lemaire smirks suggestively, completely misinterpreting his plea as she looms over the terrified Xiao Gan. She muses to herself that the usually quiet Xiao Gan must be an aggressive drunk, completely unaware of his true intentions. Clang Lemaire playfully slams a massive 100-ton hammer down next to him, showing her own idea of aggressive. Deciding today is not the time, Lemaire brings him before the princess, who awards Gan Luo a medal of bravery. Lounging on her throne, the princess offers him an even greater reward, the legendary Killing King set to make him a true hero. As Lemaire weeps with joy over the priceless gift, Xiao Gan stares in horror and shouts that the armor is useless. He coolly turns to leave, his shocking calmness leaving both the princess and her maid utterly speechless. Liu Bingyi blushes, her heart fluttering as she finds his new, steady demeanor incredibly attractive. Carrying his unwanted reward, Zhao Gan walks out of the Grand Palace and into the quiet night. Outside, an elder demon named Wei Ming complains about the princess's recklessness, only to be interrupted when Xiao Gan greets him. After accusing him of showing off, Wei Ming is stunned when Xiao Gan simply offers him the entire priceless armor set. Xiao Gan insists he take the useless set, claiming it was a careless reward and he's just looking for an excuse to give it away. Overcome with shame and gratitude, Wei Ming breaks down, tearfully begging for forgiveness and pledging his eternal loyalty to the crown. Seeing how united the demons are, Xiao Gan despairs, realizing he'll have to find another place to die tomorrow. Elsewhere, the young master Wujun learns his father's new plan, to lead an army to the court and force the princess to marry him. Overhearing the plot to, quote, kill without mercy, Xiao Gan smirks, deciding this violent political mess is the perfect chance to die after all. The next day, the demon clans gather in the Yunguo conference hall for a meeting of the court. Stuck in the crowd, a thoroughly bored Xiao Gan wishes the tedious morning meeting would just get to the point. Mei Du Kao announces the princess's return after 3 years of mourning and praises the general's success in holding back the human army. The princess graciously agrees, declaring that the great general's service protecting the country deserves a heavy reward. Seizing the moment, General Huo-an announces he has a desire and calls his son Wu-jun to come forward. Before the entire assembly, the general makes his move, formally requesting a marriage between the princess and his son. While Wu-jun stands silently, the princess playfully asks her childhood friend if he's found someone he likes in the 3 years they've been apart. Cutting through the pleasantries, the general leans forward and bluntly repeats his demand that she marry his son. The princess is stunned, but the general dismisses her feelings, insisting the marriage is necessary to stabilize a kingdom losing faith in female rulers. He argues that her ascension to the throne will cause turmoil, which marrying his son will prevent by silencing dissent. Wu-jun's allies in the crowd immediately cheer, proclaiming that he is a brave and handsome choice for her. As Elder Wei Ming cedes at the blatant coercion, and the princess is left speechless, Xiao Gan sees his opportunity and grins with wicked intent. He suddenly dashes forward, running past the guards and stunning the entire court into silence. He grabs the princess's hand, telling her not to be manipulated, and declaring that everyone has the right to pursue their own happiness. The princess looks on, touched, but General Huo-an explodes in fury, roaring at Xiao Gan's insolence. Suddenly, Wei Ming appears with a thumbs up, championing the young man and telling the princess to cherish him well. Completely overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events, the flustered princess can only offer a weak apology to the furious general. General Huo-an recounts his lifelong decorated service to the kingdom under 2 successive demon kings. Emanating a powerful red aura, the general delivers a veiled threat, advising the princess to think carefully. An elder archer draws his bow, while Wei Ming shouts at Huo-an, accusing him of threatening the princess. With a look of absolute confidence, General Huo-an declares that all military power belongs to him alone. Surrounded by his personal guard, General Huo-an contemptuously dares anyone in the court to challenge his authority. Defeated, the princess tells her supporters to stop and sorrowfully agrees to the general's demands. Xiao Gan erupts in manic laughter, calling the princess a fool for giving in so easily and lacking her father's spirit. With a distorted, mocking grin, Xiao Gan wonders to himself what is so scary about the general anyway. The enraged general glares down at Xiao Gan, contemptuously questioning his right to interfere in their affairs. Xiao Gan stands his ground, facing off against the towering and furious general in a tense, silent standoff. A single tear of pure, unadulterated rage streams down the general's face as his fury reaches its absolute peak. Xiao Gan taunts the general, then declares the peerless princess is far too good for a mere dog in office like his son. As his father roars in fury at the blatant insult, Wu-jun silently watches the chaos unfold. When the general demands to know who else is worthy, Xiao Gan cheekily volunteers himself with a smug grin. Pulling the blushing princess close, Xiao Gan lies that they're already lovers, thinking this will finally get him killed. While Elder Wei Ming is stunned by Xiao Gan's audacity, the maid Lemaire is overjoyed, believing his claims of a secret romance. The entire court watches in stunned silence as Xiao Gan holds the princess's hand, openly defying the general. As others recall his bravery against the Blue Guild, the princess is deeply moved, believing he's doing all this for her sake. Engulfed in a colossal aura of pure rage, the general roars at Xiao Gan, promising him the death he desires. Xiao Gan happily dares the general to kill him, and the general vows to fulfill that wish for his capital crimes. The general unleashes a terrifying wave of red energy, blasting aside his own guards as it surges toward Xiao Gan. The general's ultimate attack, a concentrated blast of demonic energy, hurtles forward with unstoppable force. The blast engulfs Xiao Gan, sending him flying as a horrified Elder Wei Ming screams that he was too late to intervene. Ecstatic in his final moments, Xiao Gan thinks of his beloved Hao Lianya, believing they will soon be reunited. In his mind's eye, he sees his ultimate goal, a new life as a human beside his smiling, crowned love. The general's devastating attack culminates in a massive, blinding explosion that rocks the conference hall. As the smoke clears, Huo Wu-jun stares in disbelief. The general's attack was blocked, leaving Xiao Gan completely unharmed. Sweating in utter disbelief, a stunned Wu-jun struggles to comprehend how Xiao Gan possibly survived the attack. A system window reveals the military magic order blocked the fatal blow, causing him to level up and activate a new skill. A shocked official realizes the princess gave Xiao Gan the military magic order, a legendary item signifying the Demon King's trust. Liu Bingji declares she has bestowed the ancestral magic order upon Gan Liwo, appointing him Right General to lead the army with Huo An. The princess stands confidently between the furious general and a dumbfounded Xiao Gan, establishing a new chain of command. Enraged, General Huo An accuses the princess of trying to usurp his authority with a young brat, but her loyalists stand ready. Elder Wei Ming and other loyalists immediately accept the decree, formally greeting Xiao Gan as the new Right General. Even Wu Jin and his followers are forced to salute their new superior, congratulating the bewildered General Gan. Internally screaming in frustration, Xiao Gan despairs, feeling absolutely sick as his plan to die has once again backfired. The general concedes the magic order shows her trust, but argues that a novice with no experience cannot command veteran demons. The general challenges Xiao Gan to prove himself by surviving the ancestor demon cave, promising to cede power if he succeeds. The elders protest, calling the general a schemer for sending Xiao Gan to a place no one has survived for a century. The princess furiously rejects the notion, declaring that entering the forbidden cave is nothing more than a death sentence. Xiao Gan's eyes light up with manic hope as he hears the key phrase, "Entering the cave means certain death." General Huo An laughs mockingly at their hesitation, calling them all a bunch of cowards for fearing the cave. To everyone's shock, Xiao Gan eagerly agrees with the general, demanding to be taken to the death trap cave immediately. The entire court, including the general himself, stares in absolute disbelief at Xiao Gan's cheerful acceptance of a suicide mission. A flashback explains that 200 years ago, the Demon King sealed his power in a cave, but no demon has passed the test for a century. The court notes the trial requires 2 people, but no one dares to join, a fact the general smugly observes to discredit Xiao Gan. Suddenly, a voice rings out as an armored red arm shoots up from the crowd, and a volunteer steps forward. The volunteer is revealed to be Huo Wujun, the general's son and an A-class demon lieutenant. The general furiously confronts his son for volunteering, but Wujun defiantly asks if his father believes he is inferior to Xiao Gan. A cloaked supporter tells Wujun not to risk himself, but Wujun declares that only those recognized by the ancestors are worthy of power. Wujun's cloaked followers cheer, praising his courage and strength as he volunteers for the deadly trial. Xiao Gan clutches his head in utter frustration, his plan to die once again foiled by an unexpected hero. In a private meeting, an elder warns Xiao Gan that the ruthless Wu Jun will surely betray him, which only makes Xiao Gan grin, seeing a new chance to be killed. Elder Wei Ming rushes to General Gan, offering him the kingdom's finest potions and a sincere warning about the cave's dangers. The trial party arrives at the foreboding ancestor demon cave as the princess and her attendants watch from a balcony above. Xiao Gan casually offers the precious potions to a surprised Wu Jun, while the princess asks if they are truly ready to begin. Clasping her hands anxiously, the princess silently begs for Xiao Gan to make it back safely. While Wu Jun stands with the grim determination of a future king, a thrilled Xiao Gan eagerly shouts for them to depart. The princess activates a brilliant golden magic formation, opening the portal to the ancestors' trial. As the magic takes hold, a mysterious, royally robed figure materializes within the swirling energy. A low hum resonates as a system window announces the opening of the dungeon Ancestors Trial. Inside the icy cavern, a notification warns of stealthy D-class bat ghost soul monsters lurking in the shadows. Wu Jun cautiously scans the frozen landscape, wondering aloud what kind of monsters inhabit the cave. The elder's warning echoes in his mind. The proud and selfish Wu Jun will inevitably betray him. Xiao Gan begins loudly complaining about his weak outfit and lack of preparation, leaving Wu Jun to wonder why he's making himself so vulnerable. With a wicked grin, Xiao Gan turns his back completely, silently daring Wu Jun to make his move and end it all. Wu Jun draws his blade, but to Xiao Gan's surprise, he spots a glowing flower that seems to be the real target. Wu Jun unleashes a powerful flower strike, a blast of energy that bypasses Xiao Gan and strikes a hidden monster. The powerful attack, Thorns of Soul Eater, reveals and instantly vanquishes a shadowy winged creature. The force of Wu Jun's attack causes the entire icy cavern to crack and shatter around them. Wu Jun releases a cloud of glowing spores, revealing a massive swarm of bat-like monsters descending from the ceiling. Wu Jun unleashes a vast, cutting net of green energy, slicing through the entire monster swarm at once. Wu Jun explains his clever tactic of luring out all the hidden enemies, leaving Shao Gan momentarily impressed by his unexpected use of strategy. Catching his breath, Wu Jun stands confidently, smirking after his impressive display of power. Without a moment's rest, Wu Jun lunges forward, launching another swift assassination strike. He unleashes another flower attack, this time a concentrated, blazing inferno of demonic power. Shao Gan realizes his plan has backfired. Wu Jun's high-damage attacks have generated a taunt effect, making him the monster's primary target. Checking his status, Shao Gan is annoyed to find his danger level is now 0, making him the safest person in the deadly cave. A devious grin spreads across Shao Gan's face as he hatches a new plan, to lure all the monsters into killing him instead. After checking his 480 unallocated attribute points, Shao Gan notices Wu Jun has paused, and a faint clicking sound catches his attention. Just as Wu Jun dismisses Shao Gan as a useless leech, a sudden danger warning flashes as an unseen force strikes. A system alert triggers the Demon King's Messenger's defense battle, an A-class challenge to survive a 20-minute siege against a foe with no weaknesses. The A-class Demon King's Messenger materializes, a colossal, shadowy beast crackling with terrifying power. Wu Jun's doubts about Shao Gan's power are interrupted by a system warning as a new threat emerges. The dungeon's true plot is confirmed, a desperate defense battle against the formidable Demon King's Messenger. Wu Jun's expression hardens with intense focus as he sizes up the overwhelming new enemy. Wu Jun immediately strikes, launching a concentrated flower energy beam at the colossal messenger. To Wu Jun's shock, the messenger effortlessly blocks his attack with one hand and prepares a fiery counterattack. The messenger unleashes an immense torrent of fire that erupts from its palm, engulfing the area. Caught in the blast, Wu Jun is sent flying as the fiery attack culminates in a massive, devastating explosion. As Wu Jun recovers from the blast, a thorny vine whips out from the smoke and fire, lashing out at him. The thorny vine quickly ensnares Wu Jun, binding him tightly in its spiky, constricting grip. KRRRRRRRR. The source is revealed to be a smaller, sentient vine monster that has emerged from the chaos. As Wu Jun struggles, he wonders why Shao Gan isn't helping, while Shao Gan smirks, thinking he'd overestimated his supposedly powerful rival. Shao Gan internally reveals his own twisted strategy. He put all 480 points into strength, leaving his defense completely empty. Believing he can draw the monster's aggro with overwhelming damage, Wu Jun reaffirms his own superiority and powers up for another attack. Gathering a vortex of green energy, Wu Jun prepares to unleash his strongest attack on the vine creature. Wu Jun's attack rains down on the vine monster, which roars in a mixture of pain and rage. Screaming for the monster to go to hell, Wu Jun curses it as he pours all his power into the final blow. The vine monster erupts in a massive explosion of green and fiery energy under the force of Wu Jun's attack. Wu Jun's powerful strike hits the Demon King's Messenger, but a system alert reveals it has 90% damage reduction. Horrified his attack was useless, Wu Jun realizes the messengers have extremely high defense and no weaknesses, thinking not good as a new threat emerges. As a skull-faced energy blast shoots forward, a gritting Wu Jun braces for the deadly impact. Just as the blast is about to hit Wu Jun, Shao Gan lunges from the side, yelling, "Sneak attack!" and preparing to intercept it himself. Shao Gan's purple armored fist clenches, hurtling forward with immense speed and power. With a great slash, Shao Gan's fiery punch connects directly with the Demon King's Messenger. The two remaining messengers turn in confusion, staring at Shao Gan after his sudden, powerful intervention. Crash. The shadowy messenger lands a brutal blow, sending the unprepared Wu Jun flying across the cavern floor. Standing amid the fiery wreckage, a baffled Shao Gan wonders aloud how he actually managed to blow up one of the messengers. Shao Gan is stunned by the power of his all-strength build, while a shocked Wu Jun can't believe he just one-shotted a demon messenger. Wu Jun deduces Shao Gan's strategy was to hide his strength and expose the messenger's weak point, its back, calling him a brilliant strategist. A system window alerts Shao Gan that his heavy damage has produced a taunt effect, making him the prime target for all monsters. Shao Gan smirks, thinking his plan finally worked. as a system window confirms the taunt effect is making all monsters prioritize attacking him. Recognizing the A+ class Demon King's messenger could kill him in one hit, Xiaogan grins and roars, "Come here." As the colossal monster lunges, Xiaogan thinks with glee that he is finally about to turn back into a human. Just as the monster attacks, Wujun reappears, shouting flower, as he prepares a glowing green attack to intercept it. Wujun unleashes a shape-shifting sting, a devastating poison attack that pierces the messenger, leaving a confused Xiaogan staring in disbelief. The ground crumbles as the attack's energy fades, with a notification stating that 3 messengers still remain. Xiaogan stares in shock as Wujun explains their new strategy. They will alternate taunting the monsters to expose their weak backs. Wujun winks as the taunt transfers back to him, while Xiaogan screams in frustration that his plan to get killed was just ruined. As the monsters turn their attention, Wujun calmly addresses them, saying, "You guys, come back." Xiaogan screams desperately, chasing after the monsters as they ignore him and swarm a ready Wujun. The remaining messengers look around, confused by the sudden disappearance of their targets amidst the chaos. With the taunt now on another messenger, an utterly exasperated Xiaogan strikes a pose and begs, "Come kill me." Xiaogan stands with a smug, inviting smile, hands on his hips, as 2 giant messengers prepare to crush him. In a comedic reversal, Wujun rushes to steal the aggro, yelling, "Come kill me," as Xiaogan chases him, shouting, "Don't run away." Ouch. Xiaogan accidentally obliterates another messenger with a single punch, complaining that he used too much force again. Facing the last remaining messenger, Xiaogan sees his final chance and desperately pleads, "Come on, give me a punch." The final messenger unleashes a massive, crackling fist as Xiaogan watches with wide, hopeful eyes, ready for the end. With a final devastating slash, Xiaogan instinctively destroys the last messenger, a notification confirming it is down. As all the messengers are wiped out, Wujun praises their flawless cooperation, while Xiaogan internally fumes, "Cooperation, my ass!" Wujun, impressed, clenches his fist and declares that he now recognizes Xiaogan as a worthy future rival. The cavern floor trembles and cracks as a surge of immense blue lightning erupts from the ground. A disembodied voice booms, musing that it has been decades since anyone entered and that no young demon seemed capable of challenging a king. A magnificent, serpentine blue dragon with glowing red eyes materializes, congratulating the duo on passing the assessment. The SS-class Demon King Liu Yun announces the final challenge. Only one of them can leave the cave alive in the next 10 minutes. The colossal evil dragon phantom looms over them, reiterating its grim ultimatum for the final challenge. The dragon clarifies that the survivor gets the title of king, or it will kill them both, forcing a shocked Wujun to realize they must kill each other. Xiaogan and Wujun stand opposite each other, the tension thick as they prepare for their one-on-one duel to the death. Wujun resolves that he cannot die, as he is the future of the kingdom, but acknowledges his opponent's unfathomable strength. With a devious grin, Xiaogan realizes this is a heaven-sent opportunity to finally achieve his goal. Seeing this as his best chance to die, Xiaogan provokes Wujun to attack before casually removing his armor, lowering his defense. As a wary Wujun wonders about his strategy, Xiaogan continues to disarm, removing his boots to lower his defense and speed further. Now shirtless, Xiaogan smugly declares that apart from his underwear, he has nothing left on him. Spreading his arms wide, Xiaogan shouts for Wujun to just stab him and claim the title of king for himself. Wujun suspiciously asks what trick he's up to, while an annoyed Xiaogan snaps, wondering why he's hesitating. Xiaogan grabs Wujun, reminding him of his power, the princess's trust, and his ability to defeat messengers. When Wujun demands to know why he's surrendering, Xiaogan calmly states that the kingdom needs the Huo family, and that Wujun is its future hero. Xiaogan humbly tells Wujun that he is just a nameless pawn, and his own life isn't worth mentioning compared to Wujun's. With newfound resolve, Wujun clenches his fist, declaring that for the good of the demon race, he must be the one to die. Wujun's expression is somber and resolute, as he quietly accepts his new purpose. In a flashback, a woman tells a young Wujun he will grow into a great man, and that demons find true power through unity. Thinking of his mother, Wujun clenches his fist, admitting to himself that he has been thoroughly humiliated by his own selfish desires. Wujun reflects on his shame, realizing that while Xiaogan acted for the future of the demon race, he was only thinking of his own title. As the dragon announces 6 minutes remain, an impatient Xiaogan urges Wu Jun to act, who suspiciously asks what new trick he's planning. Wu Jun restates the dragon's ultimatum, but a shirtless Xiaogan just shrugs and asks, "And then?" With a determined look, Wu Jun announces his intention to try another method. KRRRRAAAGH, Wu Jun screams, unleashing an explosive torrent of red and green energy from his body. Shouting, "Scatterflowers!" burst, Wu Jun unleashes his power, which takes the form of a spiritual dragon. As the energy crashes against an unseen barrier, the Demon King angrily asks how he dares to break it. The Demon King Liu Yun glares as the timer shows 8 minutes left. As Wu Jun evolves to A+ class, his armor transforms, and he proposes they join forces to kill the Demon King. The evil dragon, SS class Demon King Liu Yun, laughs mockingly, telling the two they are overestimating themselves. Now clad in new, powerful armor, Wu Jun declares he is filled with power, as a system window confirms his massive attribute bonus. As Wu Jun unleashes another attack, a thoroughly unimpressed Xiaogan wonders why they always have to complicate things. A system warning flashes for Demon King Liu Yun as Wu Jun shouts flower and lunges forward for a devastating strike. Wu Jun's fiery, powered-up form clashes violently with the Demon King's massive blue energy beam. Wu Jun zips past the dragon's head, landing a powerful blow that barely chips its massive health bar. Noting the dragon's incredibly thick health bar, Wu Jun swoops down from above, unleashing a barrage of attacks. Wu Jun relentlessly strikes the dragon, with damage numbers showing his attacks are having a minimal effect. Landing beside the dragon's massive body, Wu Jun prepares his next move, undeterred by the beast's size. A system alert confirms the taunt has shifted, making Wu Jun the Demon King's primary target. The dragon unleashes a massive wave of destructive energy, sending a stunned Wu Jun flying backward. Xiaogan panics, realizing that if Wu Jun dies now, he might actually become the king against his will. The Demon King prepares to unleash its devastating Cloud Dragon Breath attack on the downed Wu Jun. Just as the blast fires, Xiaogan leaps in front of Wu Jun, taking the full force of the dragon's breath attack himself. Xiaogan's health plummets to 1,400 as he grits his teeth, enduring the overwhelming power of the blast. On his knees and bleeding, Xiaogan's sacrifice leaves Wu Jun looking on in complete shock. Wu Jun clenches his teeth in frustration, cursing the fact that Xiaogan has once again blocked a fatal attack for him. Wu Jun tosses a healing potion to Xiaogan, instantly restoring 1,000 of his health points. His health fully restored, a surprised Xiaogan looks up, bewildered by Wu Jun's action. An enraged Xiaogan shouts at Wu Jun, who responds by tossing him a variety of amplifying elixirs and a defense potion. As multiple buffs are applied, an annoyed Xiaogan sprouts tiny wings, looking completely ridiculous. Wu Jun chugs a strength elixir and yells, "Keep fighting," while a suffering Xiaogan sarcastically thanks him for maxing out his buffs. The Demon King's health bar has barely moved as it fires a thin, powerful laser from its glowing red eye. Wu Jun prepares to clash with the Demon King again, his hands crackling with focused energy. The dragon unleashes a massive bolt of lightning, engulfing Wu Jun as he screams in agony. As Wu Jun is racked with pain from the lightning, Xiaogan grits his teeth and declares, "I'll block." Xiaogan intercepts another attack meant for Wu Jun, his health dropping as he roars in pain. "Hey, enough is enough." Xiaogan furiously shouts at Wu Jun, who ignores him, his hand glowing with power. The narration explains how Huo Wu Jun and Gan Liwo fought together against the Demon King, tag-teaming the massive dragon. With the Demon King's health finally at halfway, Wu Jun shouts encouragement, saying they can defeat it if they hold on. A system alert triggers the dragon's passive skill at half health, an SSS class ability that regenerates 100,000 HP per minute. Wu Jun stares in disbelief at the overwhelming regeneration rate, while the dragon smugly mocks them as weaklings. "Do you dare to think of killing a god?" the dragon roars, unleashing a massive, crushing pressure wave. Both warriors scream as they are slammed by the force, the dragon declaring their courage is nothing before absolute power. A system window announces all buffs are cancelled, and their defenses are reduced as they are afflicted with poison and weakness. Lying defeated on the ground and taking continuous damage, Xiaogan grunts in frustration at their hopeless situation. A system notification announces Wu Jun's near-death protection has been triggered as he realizes all his potions are used up. As the Demon King prepares a final, devastating strike, a battered Wu Jun pants on the ground, admitting to himself that they have lost. Xiaogan grabs Wu Jun, declaring they haven't lost yet, and that if he dies, Wu Jun will still complete the challenge and become king. A stunned Wu Jun can only stare in disbelief, asking what Xiaogan means by his sudden change of heart. As the dragon unleashes its dragon breath of light, Xiaogan holds Wu Jun back, facing the final test with a resolve to survive. Shouting for the future of the demons, Xiaogan shoves Wu Jun to safety, privately thinking that Wu Jun isn't so annoying after all. Wu Jun is sent flying backward, calling out Gan Liwo's name in desperation as his companion faces the blast. A colossal pillar of golden light erupts from the ground as Wu Jun sits and watches from a distance. Wu Jun stares in utter shock at the overwhelming display of power before him. The Demon King, now in a smaller, more refined form, laughs and congratulates them on finally passing the Ancestors test. With a new title recognizing him, Wu Jun learns the truth. The Ancestors sacrificed their lives, and this test was to find a worthy successor. A system window confirms Wu Jun's A+ class advancement and new skill as he realizes that for 200 years, everyone failed by killing each other. The narration explains that the true test was to find someone with the courage to protect their own kind without fear of death. Xiaogan, now the king recognized by the ancestor, is bathed in light, learning that self-sacrifice is a king's greatest quality as a system window confirms his SSS class advancement and a powerful new regeneration skill, leaving him stunned. A red-haired demon girl with horns looks over her shoulder as a warning from the Thunder team appears over a hooded figure. 3 high-ranking demons react in shock, learning that the treacherous ancestor's demon cave has been cleared, possibly fulfilling a prophecy. The group discusses the new Demon King's arrival, noting that a true king with a revered, transformed figure only appears every few hundred years. A demon lord with a red-horned mask chuckles, proudly assuming his son Wu Jun has earned the title of king, while admitting he underestimated the other boy. A long-haired demon elder corrects him, revealing that the one who became king isn't young Master Wu Jun. Another demon general with a prominent mustache smiles knowingly, announcing that it's General Gan. The demon lord and his cohorts scream in disbelief, questioning how Gan Levo could possibly be the new king. In a bar, the newly crowned king, Gan Liwo, is troubled, getting drunk while a barmaid notes his impressive drinking capacity. Stumbling down the street with a potion, Gan Liwo despairs over his new passive skill that heals 100,000 HP a minute, making it impossible for him to die. Crying drunkenly, he laments that he can't go back and mourns for his Haoliangna, a notification reminding him of 2 unequipped skills. Gan Liwo stumbles through a bustling night market, drawing the attention of the vendors and passers-by. He glances over his shoulder, annoyed to see a small, cat-like demon peeking out from behind a corner. A small, green-haired child in a large hat quietly follows Gan Liwo down a dark, empty alley. Roar Gan Liwo spins around with a terrifying face, startling the small child and demanding to know if they're following him. The small child falls to the ground, startled by Gan Liwo's sudden outburst. With big, teary eyes, the child insists he's not scary, as a system window identifies him as Tiangxiao, a D-class nuclear demon. As Gan Liwo sternly asks again why he's being followed, the mustache general watches them from the background. Tiangxiao nervously presents a letter, tearfully begging Gan Liwo to take him to Bailing Demon Cave, promising to do anything. Gan Liwo reads a notice, granting the bearer 3 wishes from the Bailing Demon Cave, wondering what kind of place it is. Tiangxiao explains he was denied entry for not being an adult, but seeing Gan Liwo leave a cave, he hopes he knows a way in. A scraggly old man suddenly appears, berating a blushing Gan Liwo for actually believing the letter is real. As Gan Liwo gets excited about a real fountain of wishes, the old man continues to scold him for his gullibility. A blushing Gan Liwo gets lost in a fantasy about the legendary fountain of wishes, which he'd heard rumors about. Tiangxiao admits he paid 50,000 for the letter, making the old man even more certain that it's just a common scam. The old man sarcastically compliments Gan Liwo's luck. Meanwhile, Tianxiao explains he needs the wish to save his dying mother, and this was his last chance. Moved, Gan Liwo agrees to go in exchange for one of the wishes. Grinning deviously, Gan Livo declares he will take 2 wishes, to which Tianxiao agrees, only caring about saving his mom, as the old man observes their strange chemistry. The old man reassures the filial son that his mom will be saved, and when Tianxiao thanks uncle, he insists on being called brother. The old man suddenly puts the pieces together, the cave, the wishes, the untransformed requirement, and realizes it's the work of a notorious black market scam group. Gan Livo and Tianxiao arrive at the entrance to a massive stone cave, with Gan excitedly announcing his arrival at the Fountain of Wishes. Gan Livo inserts the letter into a slot on the massive door, which scans it and confirms its authenticity. Thump! As the huge door rumbles open, Tianxiao excitedly points it out to a blushing Gan Livo. Watching from a high-tech control room, a mysterious figure notes that another fish has taken the bait. From the shadows, the figure orders his subordinate to trap them inside, but warns him not to kill them, as they're needed for work. A smirking demon with large purple horns acknowledges the order, ready to act. Bang! The heavy doors slam shut, trapping Gan Livo and a surprised Tianxiao inside the dark cavern. An enormous crackling fist descends from the darkness, aiming to crush the 2 unsuspecting visitors. As the massive fist descends, a terrified Tianxiao yells for his new brother to be careful. The fist connects squarely with Gan Livo's face, dealing a mere 5 points of damage. A system window announces his rewind passive has triggered, instantly restoring the damage, as a blushing Gan Livo cheerfully asks if this is Bailing Demon Cave. The muscular, orange-haired D-class demon scoffs, calling Gan Livo's calm demeanor pretentious after taking a full-force attack. Facing 3 hostile demons, Gan Livo asks if they've come to the wrong place, while explaining they are there to redeem their wishes. The orange-haired demon bursts out laughing, mocking Gan Livo for clinging to delusions and falling for their greedy tricks. An enraged, blushing Gan Livo demands to know where the Fountain of Wishes is, which only makes the demon laugh harder. The trio of demons mockingly asks if he really believed in the Fountain of Wishes, a fairy tale used to trick children. They reveal their true identity as the largest human trafficking organization in Yun Kingdom, scamming people into the cave to work as slaves. A man in a fedora explains their victims either labor for life or are dismembered for their organs, noting Gan Livo's figure seems useful for military assembly. The man in the fedora menacingly grabs Gan Livo's chin, telling him to be an obedient dog and accept his new reality. With a flick of his finger, Gan Livo sends the man in the fedora flying backward across the room. The remaining 2 lackeys stare in shock at a glowing purple fist, completely bewildered by what just happened. The man in the fedora hangs limply from a high ledge, his soul seemingly escaping his unconscious body. Facing the remaining demons, Gan Livo sighs, lamenting how many times his illusions have been shattered since his rebirth. Tianxiao stares in awe at his elder brother for fighting back, while the remaining demons decide to suit up for a real fight. The 3 demons, including the now recovered man in the fedora, activate their gear and enter ultra combat mode. The trio stands ready in their B-grade military armor, now appearing as intimidating, high-tech warriors. The green-armored leader vows to teach Gan Livo the dangers of the world, while the red-armored demon sees it as a perfect chance to test their B-plus grade armor as they all charge in. Clenching his fist, Gan Livo curses, admitting that the liquor has made him emotional, and now he's committed to the fight. As a drunken mode rage skill system window appears, a furious Gan Livo screams that he's pissed off and launches himself into battle. In a flash of motion, Gan Livo unleashes a devastatingly fast and powerful attack on his opponents. Their B++ grade armor completely destroyed, the 3 armored demons lie defeated on the ground in a heap of broken metal. The chapter ends with a title card and a final shot of Gan Livo's enraged, bloodied face. The defeated demons beg for mercy, with one claiming they were forced into this by a powerful organization they can't escape, as Tianxiao cheers for his strong big brother. Suddenly sober, Gan Livo questions them about these powerful forces, and the orange-haired demon warns him that their boss is the highest official in the kingdom and he's doomed when the general arrives. Gan Livo ponders which of the 3 shadowy figures in his mind is the ringleader who had the audacity to deceive him. Laughing maniacally, the Pin Demon declares the general has arrived and Gan Livo is as good as dead. Gan Livo instinctively shields Tianxiao as a powerful figure descends from an opening in the ceiling above. A new, imposing figure wreathed in blue energy appears, asking who is causing the trouble. The imposing, horned general appears, Noting the scam is run by an old crook named Jiang, Gan Levo angrily asks how he knows his boss, prompting a minion to insult the general, who prepares to strike back as an A-grade warrior. After the orange-haired demon begs for his life, the general brutally executes him, leaving Tian Qiao trembling in fear at the fierce display. The general scoffs, calling his former subordinate useless trash for being unable to handle a no-name underling. The general's hooded subordinate observes the scene, trying and failing to remember who Gan Liwo is. The general grabs Gan Levo, declaring he knows too much and must die, but Gan Levo, unimpressed, notes his strength and dares him to try. Standing his ground, Gan Levo gives the general a 10-minute time limit to try and kill him. With a terrifying grin and glowing red eyes, Gan Levo warns the general not to blame him for what happens next. The general's subordinate, his other minion, and Tiang Qiao all react with utter disbelief and shock at Gan Levo's challenge. Towering over Gan Levo, the confused general scratches his head, asking what he means by 10 minutes. The general boasts that Gan Levo's head will roll in 1 second, as his subordinate grins and Tiang Xiao shouts a worried, "Big brother!" The general lands a powerful blow, but Gan Levo's health bar instantly refills the 500 damage he takes. The general stares at his fist, perplexed by the attack's ineffectiveness. Stretching as his health returns to full, Gan Levo casually remarks that the general is a bit stronger than the others. Gan Levo grins and taunts the general to use his super special move, annoying the general, who admits the no-name weakling has some skill. Gan Levo yells for him to hurry, as 10 minutes will pass quickly, enraging the general, who powers up, furious at being underestimated. Unleashing his power, the general lands 2 consecutive critical whip attacks on Gan Levo. The furious assault continues as the general lands a combo of 8 consecutive whip strikes. The general's hooded subordinate suddenly remembers who Gan Levo is, sweating in shock, while the general himself pants in exhaustion over Gan Levo's downed body. A system notification announces his health has been fully restored, and as Gan Levo gets back up, he taunts the exhausted general not to stop. The general puts all his remaining power into one explosive output, his strongest whip attack, aimed directly at Gan Levo. A system window announces the triggering of a passive counterattack ability, reflecting all the accumulated damage back at the general. Bam! The reflected attack deals massive damage, blasting the general into a deep crater as Gan Levo stands unscathed. The general wonders what's wrong with this kid, as his hooded subordinate suddenly realizes Gan Levo is the pervert who messed with General Huo and should be dead. Dismissing Gan Levo as a low-level demon relying on a woman, the general boasts of being an A-class demon with 2 hearts, destined to rule the clan. The general summons his A-class Cloud Ice battle armor, encasing himself in a formidable crystalline blue suit. Unfazed by the massive armored general, a tiny Gan Levo stands on a rock and cheerfully taunts, "Bring it on!" Preparing his ultimate combo, the armored general gathers crackling blue energy for a devastating attack. The general unleashes a cloud shockwave palm, hitting Gan Levo with a flurry of strikes that deal minimal damage. The barrage of blows continues to rain down, chipping away at Gan Levo with small bits of damage. As the general continues his relentless assault, his own powerful battle armor begins to crack and shatter under the strain. Multiple system windows announce the repeated triggering of his passive, which reflects damage back after every 15 attacks. The passive skill triggers, reflecting thousands of points of critical damage back onto the stunned general. Taking catastrophic damage, the general's near-death protection activates as he screams in pain, and his subordinate cries out his name in horror. The general lies defeated in a massive crater, as his subordinate and Tiang Xiao watch in shock from the sidelines. A system window explains his HP is locked by near-death protection, leaving the battered general utterly confused by his defeat. As the 10-minute timer expires, the bruised general stands defeated while Gan Levo wonders why his own health is still full. A glowing health bar confirms Gan Levo is at full health, leaving him to question his own invincibility. Gan Levo taunts the defeated general, asking if that's all he's got. Broken, the general begs for mercy, offering anything to his new brother. Sobbing, the once proud general begs Gan Levo to stop toying with him, admitting his own unworthiness and desperately asking who he really is. As the subordinate begs the general of the right to save his younger brother, The imposing newcomer coldly declares the defeated general brought this on himself. The general of the right, addressing Gan Levo as General Gan, explains this is a military weapon factory, while Tianxiao marvels at how cool his big brother is. The general of the right apologizes for the incident, but Gan Levo dismisses him, calling the defeated demons disappointing trash before suddenly remembering something. With a menacing grin, Gan Levo reminds the terrified general of his promise to give him anything, including his 2 demon hearts. The general cries for his brother to save him, as the scene shifts to an operating room where surgeons prepare to anesthetize him for heart removal. After the surgery, Tianxiao thanks Gan Levo for saving his mom. Gan Levo muses that fate still grants wishes and wonders about his own. The general of the right questions his subordinate, relieved to hear that the demon essence storage device remains undiscovered. Elsewhere, the human army prepares for battle, with a blonde commander rallying his troops to get ready. A crowned, white-haired woman watches over the sleeping blonde commander, asking how he is and saying she misses him. She gently caresses his hair, promising that it won't be long until they meet again soon. The blonde commander remains peacefully asleep, unaware of the woman's presence or the impending conflict. Suddenly, Gan Levo is in a new dream, fighting off assassins and taking damage from multiple sword strikes. Instantly healing, Gan Levo furiously taunts his shocked attackers, calling them all trash for their weak attempts. Clutching his head, Gan Levo screams in frustration, "Is there no one who can kill me?" as he seems to transform in a flash of light. Click. Gan Levo awakens from the dream as a horned, orange-haired woman informs him that the Crown Princess has summoned him to a military meeting. At a war council, the Crown Princess announces that the human race is launching an attack with 10,000 soldiers, forcing them to discuss countermeasures. The demon generals, including a newly arrived Gan Levo, are gathered around the war table to discuss the imminent threat. A red-armored general recalls the last war, noting it took half the country's strength to repel the humans. The general suggests waiting for an opportunity, but the princess orders a commander named Wu Jun to lead a peace delegation. The princess turns her attention to Gan Levo, asking for his opinion on their strategy against the human army. Gan Levo mentally calculates that an attack from 1,000 soldiers would deal enough simultaneous damage to overwhelm his regeneration. Realizing this is a rare chance to actually die, Gan Levo grins maniacally, slams the table, and declares, "We must fight." Gan Levo stands and passionately argues they must abandon their defensive position and meet the enemy in a fierce, head-on battle. A red-haired demon looks on in shock, while the red-armored general slams his fist on the table in outrage. The red-armored general furiously rejects the plan, calling Gan Levo's words reckless with the country's survival at stake. Gan Levo snaps back, reminding the general of his cowardly tactics that nearly cost them everything 10 years ago. He challenges the council, asking who they will entrust their lives to when an even larger army inevitably attacks in the future. Gan Levo berates them for not taking charge of their own lives and declares they've forgotten one crucial fact about their strength. As a sovereign scepter materializes above him, Gan Levo points to himself and thunderously asks the council, "Who am I?" With a triumphant wild grin, Gan Levo declares he is the greatest variable in their entire military force. The princess, addressed as Gan, watches her general's bold declaration with a look of stunned surprise. The council elders realize with a shock that Gan Levo is a sovereign recognized by the ancestors, a fact they had completely forgotten. The red-armored general furiously asks if Gan Levo truly wants to kill thousands of their soldiers, yelling that he can't understand the cruelty of the battlefield. Unmoved, Gan Levo calmly asks if the general thinks victory simply comes by itself. Gan Levo continues his questioning, asking the council if they believe others will give them another chance after one raid. Pointing accusingly, Gan Levo berates the general for not understanding the most important thing on the battlefield, the spirit of certain victory. With a confident smirk, Gan Levo stakes his own life on the outcome, demanding they cut off his head as a warning if he fails. Watching the bold declaration, the red-haired demon thinks to himself that Gan Levo has a unique ability to inspire others. As the council members watch, the red-haired demon smiles slightly, thinking again how Gan Levo always manages to inspire people. The pink-haired princess stands at the head of the table, calmly declaring, "I understand." With fierce, glowing red eyes, the princess promotes General Gan to Marshal and orders all troops to follow his command for this battle. The princess commands her forces to open the city and prepare to face the enemy, as troops mobilize below. As the human army approaches, their commander notes the demons' increased numbers and strength, while the red armored general privately tells his own soldiers there's no chance of victory. The red armored general tells his loyal troops he cannot allow them to waste their lives after they've followed him for decades. He turns and shouts a command to all of his officers. The red armored general orders his men to stay in the city and disobey General Gan's orders when they go to the battlefield. He declares that he alone will take full responsibility for their insubordination, if Her Highness blames them. A massive military vehicle kicks up dust as it speeds across the landscape. The 21st Legion of the Holy Kingdom, a massive mechanized force, advances on the demon city. A human commander with a scarred cheek, General Shin, watches through binoculars and vows that Yundu's death is at hand. General Shin orders the siege to begin, and a subordinate with a wicked grin relays the command to spare no demon. A volley of missiles streaks through the dark sky toward the demon city walls. Bam! As demon riders on wyverns cry out warnings of incoming missiles, a barrage of energy blasts slams into their magical defenses. Massive explosions rock the city walls, engulfing soldiers and shattering defenses as a terrified blue-haired demon looks on. Huge fireballs erupt along the battlements as Ganlevum and his soldiers watch the destruction. Ganlevo stands calmly on the ramparts, watching the fiery explosions from the human army's opening assault. The human army's armored units continue their relentless advance, firing non-stop at the city. As Ganlevo watches the battle, the red armored general quietly reminds his subordinate to remember what they discussed. Two hooded officers whisper anxiously, torn between following General Huo's orders and committing treason by disobeying the crown. Ganlevo turns to his troops and barks a command to all officers. With a wild, manic grin, Ganlevo shocks the red armored general's troops by ordering everyone to stay inside the city. Ganlevo then leaps from the wall alone, declaring he will handle the king by himself as he brings his sword down on a human mech. The human commander, General Shin, looks on in utter confusion at the sight of the lone demon charging his army. As power surges around him, Ganlevo stands defiantly, a lone figure facing the entire mechanized human army. With a confident smirk, Ganlevo issues a challenge, demanding the enemy execute him in front of everyone. With determined, glowing red eyes, the princess promotes General Gan to marshal and orders all troops to follow him. The red armored general clenches his fist, privately declaring that he alone will take full responsibility. The mechanized 21st Legion of the Holy Kingdom marches forward for battle. The human army's war machines advance across the battlefield, kicking up dust. The human commander, General Shin, gives the decisive order to begin the siege. A smirking subordinate relays General Shin's brutal order. Not a single demon head is to be spared. Fiery explosions and magical blasts erupt as the human assault crashes against the city's defenses. A massive explosion blows a hole in the city's fortifications. Ganlevo smirks with grim satisfaction, announcing that his enemies have finally arrived. The human war machine relentlessly bombards the demon city from a distance. The human army's armored walkers and soldiers continue their steady advance. The red armored general quietly reminds his hooded subordinate to remember their discussion. The two hooded officers debate in hushed, worried tones whether to listen to General Huo. Turning toward the battle, Ganlevo begins to shout his command. Ganlevo leaps into the fray alone, yelling for his troops to leave the king to him. A massive sword strike lands, prompting a shocked "What?" from the red armored general. Standing atop a war machine, the crowned human king faces a devastating incoming attack. The human commander, General Shin, recoils in shock at the unexpected attack. In the aftermath of the strike, Ganlevo's powerful silhouette stands amidst the dust and smoke. With glowing red eyes, Ganlevo confronts General Shin, who stands defiantly atop a wrecked war machine. A vision of a crowned, white-haired demon king in full armor flashes, seated upon a mighty throne. Watching from the city walls, the red-armored General Huo gapes in disbelief at Ganlevo's impossible recovery ability. General Huo realizes with a start that Ganlevo was serious from the very beginning about wanting to fight. Swarmed by soldiers, Ganlevo laughs maniacally, delighted that his opponents are finally putting up a decent fight, while an observer wonders how he will counter. As his health bar finally drops, Ganlevo grins gleefully and urges his attackers to keep going. Suddenly, a system notification appears before a surprised Ganlevo, announcing that his passive skill has been triggered. A system message explains his passive. He reflects damage back at his attackers, and the damage explodes outward in a blue wave, striking the surrounding soldiers for massive damage. A devastating energy rips through the human soldiers, who wonder what just happened as they are blown away. General Jin watches in horror as his subordinate, Ah Bing, is killed by the brutal counterattack, realizing this is no ordinary demon. With a grim expression, General Jin senses that something is deeply wrong with this particular demon. Realizing the danger, General Shin frantically screams for his entire army to stop their attack immediately. General Shin recalls legends of a similar demon king with cheat-like regeneration who single-handedly saved the demon race, wondering if this is the same entity. Staring intently at the lone demon, General Shin desperately tries to figure out his true origin. As his health rapidly regenerates, Ganliwo furiously demands to know why the 10,000-strong army has stopped trying to kill him. The human soldiers cry out in panic, pointing out that all his wounds have healed again and declaring him highly suspicious. Over his comms, General Shin orders his men to stay calm and hold their fire, acknowledging that their opponent is far from simple. General Shin declares that their mission to draw out the demon's strongest army has already been accomplished. He gives the order to retreat and minimize any further unnecessary casualties. As the human forces begin to pull back, Ganliwo stands alone on the battlefield, watching them go. Seeing the retreat, the horned, orange-haired woman orders the Imperial Guards to charge and prevent the humans from escaping. The red-haired demon general commands the entire demon army to attack the fleeing humans. Acknowledging the command, a hooded soldier on a wyvern responds with a firm, "Yes." Ganlevo looks on with a bewildered, "Huh?" surprised by his army's sudden charge. A new state is activated as the demon wyvern riders, led by the orange-haired woman, dive toward the retreating humans, shocking General Shin. General Shin panics, screaming in disbelief as the demons suddenly attack all at once. Panicking that his ultimate skill is on cooldown, General Shin watches as a declaration appears, vowing that all invaders will be punished. Observing the battle, General Huo reflects that he is getting old, praising the new generation's bravery and resourcefulness. With renewed resolve, General Huo activates his high mode, ordering his troops to disregard his previous command and follow General Gan. Now wreathed in fiery power, General Huo vows that the invading insects will not be allowed to return home. His hooded subordinates roar in unison. "Understood!" General Huo stands ready for battle, surrounded by his elite, powered-up soldiers. A scout urgently reports that the attack was a feint. A strong human army has breached the west gate and is attacking the kingdom. Inside the city, human soldiers are shown slaughtering defenseless demon citizens in the streets. A human soldier callously grinds his boot on a dead demon's face, while his comrades laugh maniacally in the darkness. General Huo reacts to the horrific news with a single, stunned, "What?" Splat. A severed demon head is shown against a splash of blood. A blonde-haired human commander stands victorious over demon corpses, holding a severed head and dismissing his foes as useless. He faces the last two defenders, a wounded, red-haired demon woman and a horned demon with a spear. The bloodied, red-haired woman pants for breath, admitting that their human opponent is incredibly strong. As a horned demon lord urges retreat, the blonde commander announces their kingdom's defenses have fallen and that his forces are entering. The blonde commander sits with his elite squad, smirking as he declares, "Game time!" The battle resumes with a massive, fiery explosion unleashed by the blonde commander's forces. As his squad members tend to a fallen comrade with potions, the blonde commander looks back in surprise, wondering if demons are returning. Enraged, General Huo appears in a massive, fiery form, calling the humans despicable, while the blonde commander smirks, glad a competent demon has finally arrived. The blonde commander stands, readying his sword as he prepares to get some exercise. General Huo senses the blonde commander's unfathomable power, noting the purple aura that far surpasses other humans. Resolved to end the fight quickly, General Huo unleashes a powerful, glowing red sword attack. A system window reveals General Huo An's A+ class demon berserk mode stats as he transforms into a colossal fiery dragon to face the blonde commander. Clang. Their powerful swords clash in a brilliant explosion of sparks. While the battle rages between demons and mechs, a lone figure emerges from a doorway in the city's depths. In the shadows, the white-haired demon Ganlivo looks on and accepts the challenge, thinking, "Very well." Turning away, he welcomes the chaos, urging them to just keep playing with him like this. Standing amidst the gore, he reflects that since reincarnating, he feels like he's cheating, unable to die no matter how hard he tries. His quiet reflection breaks as he begins to laugh, a sinister grin spreading across his face. His laughter turns to tears of anguish as he screams, desperately asking what is wanted from him, and if he is meant to become the Demon King. A massive beam of red and blue energy erupts from his body. Unleashing his power, Ganluo fires the energy beam into a swirling vortex in the sky above the ravaged city. Ganlivo stares in wide-eyed shock, surrounded by a crackling purple aura. Surveying the fiery carnage and slain demons, he wonders why the humans aren't fighting the main demon army outside. His confusion turns to horror as he realizes the invaders have already breached the city walls. He hears a demon plead for his daughter's life, and his eyes burn with rage. A human soldier callously mocks the father, declaring he'll take everything as he holds a terrified green-haired girl who cries out for her dad. The demon father reaches out desperately, screaming for the soldier to let his daughter go. Ah! A blade brutally pins the father's hand to the ground. As the human soldier smirks that the victor becomes king, a powerful fist suddenly smashes into his face, sending him flying. Ganliwo arrives on the scene, sensing that something feels deeply wrong. The remaining soldier and his partner spot Ganliwo, taunting that another demon has come to die. The two human soldiers charge the lone demon, who reflects on the cruelty of war where the victor takes all. In a flash, Ganlevo moves between the soldiers, recalling that the human army forbids such atrocities as their health bars instantly drop to near death. One of the soldiers retches blood, his life flashing before his eyes. Ganlevo's hand closes around the soldier's throat. After crushing the soldier's head, Ganlevo stands surrounded by a dark aura as others wonder what kind of bug this naked demon is. Ganlevo interrogates the last soldier, who reveals he's from the 21st Legion, 511th Squad, wondering why the demon needs to know. Ganlevo reacts in shock, repeating the numbers 21, 511? Wondering why that sounds so familiar, Ganlevo asks if that's his legion, causing the surviving soldiers to panic and call for a retreat. A chilling premonition washes over Ganlevo as he feels that something is fundamentally wrong. Clutching his head with an agonized ugh, he doubles over as the feeling intensifies. A blurry, violent memory flashes before his eyes as he thinks, "Look at this again." He sees a vision of the city consumed by massive fireballs, realizing with a jolt that he has been here before. Another flash shows the absolute devastation and the bodies of the dead strewn across the rubble. The memory of a dying demon and raging fires continues to haunt him. With dawning horror, Ganlevo recognizes his surroundings, realizing this is the Yun Kingdom. The memory becomes clearer and more painful as he recalls his mother being tortured to death by them. In his vision, a grieving demon child is comforted by his father, who tells him he's not alone. The overwhelming memories culminate in a brilliant flash of crackling energy. As rain begins to fall, Ganlevo stands amidst the ruins with a newfound, chilling clarity. He watches the distant battle, his gaze fixed on the rampaging demon dragon. Clutching his head, Ganlevo finally understands, exclaiming, "The Yun Kingdom. I remember now." He flashes back to his past life as a blonde human commander, recalling that he led an attack on the Yun Kingdom 6 years ago. In his memory, he stands alone, facing the terrifying demon dragon. He remembers that at that time, his final opponent was this very demon dragon. He recalls the battle was so one-sided that he almost forgot about it entirely. His memory concludes with him standing victoriously atop the slain dragon's head. Recalling a system message about being reborn, Ganlevo realizes in horror that he's returned to 6 years ago and wonders why he's not leading his army. He looks at his unfamiliar demon body in panic, questioning what happened to him and where his human body is now. A memory surfaces of a white-haired woman telling him he was different, fighting for protection while others fought for plunder, as the hatred between races deepened. Looking out at the burning city, a final thought echoes in his mind. War is truly terrifying. Amidst the smoldering battlefield, the white-haired demon Ganlevo stands alone, a lone glowing eye piercing the darkness of his face. In a memory, The blonde commander recalls that his 511 army once operated with strong convictions and strict discipline. He remembers his forces standing in the rain, recalling their mission to release the demons after defeating the dragon. A horrifying memory surfaces of a small, green-haired demon child crying for his mother while being restrained by an armored human soldier. The dying child, Tian Xiao, is told not to worry as his red-haired mother is held down and screams in agony, consumed by blue energy. A human soldier callously holds the limp body of the red-haired demon woman in the rain. The soldier, identified as Deputy Captain Bao Li of Team 511, leers at the captured woman, commenting on her charm. The brutal image of the soldier and his captive is reflected in an eye, a memory seared into his mind. As Ganlivo's face twists with rage, the narration states that a fundamental shift has occurred. A memory flashes to a grand room where a woman announces the birth of a healthy baby boy as General Huo An rushes in, demanding to see his son. His demon subordinates watch in surprise, with one remarking she's never seen the general so excited. With wide, joyful eyes, General Huo An tenderly holds his newborn son, calling him his little one. As the baby smiles contentedly, his father wishes for him to grow up safe and sound. Standing over his resting wife, General Huo An vows to protect his son and the Yun Kingdom with his life. A brilliant flash of energy tears through the darkness, signifying a momentous event. Roar! In the present, the massive demon dragon, General Huo An, unleashes a fearsome cry. The dragon bellows his defiance, announcing his arrival on the battlefield. Facing the blonde commander, the dragon vows that he will never let scoundrels destroy the Yun Kingdom. The blonde commander smirks, unimpressed, as he dismisses the foe as just an A-plus class dragon with a thick health bar. Drawing his massive blade, the blonde commander decides it's time to end this. Clang. He lunges forward, blade poised to strike the massive dragon. He unleashes a devastating attack, channeling immense power into his sword. The glowing energy slices through the air, aimed directly at the dragon's neck. The brilliant attack connects, and the dragon's eye widens in shock and pain as it is struck. The blonde commander stands confidently as his powerful strike lands true. Ek, General Huo An, thrown back by the force, chokes in pain. Now back in his humanoid form, a wounded General Huo realizes with horror that his opponent was only toying with him before. CSK, he grimly accepts that his opponent's strength is currently unmatched. The blonde commander looks down on him, annoyed that the fight still failed to satisfy him. Raising his sword for the final blow, the commander roars, "Die." He stops mid-swing, looking on with a puzzled expression. A red-haired demon warrior suddenly appears, blocking the attack as a shocked General Huo wonders what is happening. The red-haired warrior furiously demands to know what General Huo is doing there, calling him crazy. With fierce determination, the red-haired warrior declares that he came to kill the commander. General Huo grabs his son, calling him a fool and warning he's no match, but the warrior screams back in denial, calling his father reckless. The red-haired warrior cries out in anguish, asking if his father has always judged him to be so worthless. In a flashback, the young red-haired demon cheers for his father, the great general, and enthusiastically chants that he is number one. The boy proudly presents a document to his father, announcing that he got first place in the military exams. General Huo looks at his son's achievement and responds with a flat, I see. The boy's face falls as he looks down at his results, his excitement crushed. Dejected, the young demon boy walks away, with his head hung low. Years later, a teenage version of the boy again announces he's achieved first place in an army assessment. His father simply reflects that he was the same in his own youth. The young man falls silent, once again denied the praise he so desperately seeks. Now an adult, he reports his promotion to lieutenant general. As an aide celebrates young Master Wu Jun becoming the youngest in history. Wu Jun presents the news to his father, General Huo, who reads the report and again replies with a simple, "I see." In the present, Wu Jun screams in rage, asking if he can never gain his father's approval, no matter what he does. The blonde commander leans on his sword, watching the family drama with an amused smirk. General Huo desperately orders his son to leave, insisting the enemy is far too powerful for him. Wreathed in a furious aura, Wu Jun declares he doesn't care who the invaders are. Anyone who steps into the Yun Kingdom must be destroyed. Roar unleashing his power, Wu Jun declares that all invaders shall be executed. His furious cry echoes as he vows that they all deserve to be executed. General Huo desperately yells at his son, calling him a crazy kid who has no idea how powerful the human is. A close-up reveals Wu Jun's eye, blazing with unshakable resolve. In a whirlwind of violence, Wu Jun tears through the commander's subordinates, splattering the battlefield with blood. The blonde commander stares in disbelief as a notification announces armor break, his defenses shattered by a demonic claw. General Huo and his aide watch in astonishment, exclaiming that Wu Jun defeated 2 subordinates in a single strike. Wu Jun stands ready, his body glowing with power, as the blonde commander prepares to draw his massive sword. The commander sizes up his opponent, thinking this demon seems different, just as Wu Jun materializes before him with fiery wings, leaving the human stunned. Wu Jun channels immense power, unleashing a devastating attack of green and yellow energy. From the attack, a massive spectral purple wolf head forms, its eyes glowing menacingly. The storm of white and green energy continues to surge across the battlefield. In a vision, a dragon's eye opens as a thought begins. The vision reveals a shirtless Wu Jun standing with his comrades, all looking shocked by an unseen event. The vision's climax shows the ethereal, purple demon wolf looming over the blonde commander. In a quiet flashback, a young Wu Jun stands silently before his father, General Huo, who sits at his desk. General Huo looks up from his book and asks his son what he wants. The young boy nervously presents his exam paper to his father. General Huo's private thoughts reveal he named his son Wu Jun in the hope of a peaceful life, and questions his intense interest in the military. An aide proudly announces that the young master ranked first in the military exam. The general's aide smiles, thinking to himself that he knew the kid would definitely succeed. Looking on, the aide worries that this outcome deviates so far from his plan. The aide reflects that the general's emotions become hard to grasp whenever Wu Jun's military affairs are mentioned, as the general's conflicted expression is shown. In a memory, General Huo sits at a grave, wondering why Wu Jun chose such a dangerous path, yet internally admitting with pride that his son is a genius for always coming in first. He sadly recalls his wife once said she trusted him to lead troops while she handled everything at home. Overwhelmed, he questions why she left so soon, confessing he doesn't know how to handle Wu Jun, who deserves a safe and happy life. Back in the present, Wu Jun is surrounded by green healing energy, realizing with regret, "It seems I was wrong." He unleashes a ferocious attack, screaming dragon's breath directly at the blonde commander. A colossal beam of purple and green energy collides in a blinding flash. The raw power of the attack explodes, wiping the landscape clean. Wu Jun hovers in the air, his fiery wings spread wide in the aftermath of the blast. A close-up shows Wu Jun's resolute face, now marked with a dark, intricate scar. Amidst the swirling chaos, the blonde commander raises his sword, which now crackles with golden lightning. He laughs manically, thrilled to finally face a demon with a bit of a challenge. With a cruel smirk, he decides it's time to bring his true weapon out for a show. He hefts his massive, high-tech sword, eager to have some real fun. General Huo's eyes widen in alarm as he watches the scene unfold. The general recognizes the weapon, thinking he's seen it in diagrams before. Wu Jun accepts the challenge, yelling, "Come on!" as he prepares to charge. He lunges forward, hand outstretched to meet the commander's attack. General Huo reaches out in terror, screaming a warning about the blade. The commander swings his glowing sword, unleashing a terrifying wave of energy. Standing before a castle tower, Wu Jun looks on in shock, realizing the blade can cut through everything. The energy wave effortlessly slices through the massive stone tower, causing it to crumble. Wu Jun watches in stunned silence as the tower collapses into a cloud of smoke and rubble. The pink-haired woman and the older demon aide cry out for Master Wu Jun, horrified by the strike as they rush to see if he's okay. Wu Jun pants heavily, a deep, glowing red gash now seared across his chest. Looking at his wounded son, General Huo finally admits, "Wu Jun, I was wrong." Hearing his father's words for the first time, a bloody and stunned Wu Jun stammers, "F father." Overcome with emotion, Wu Jun begins to cry, tears streaming down his face. Thud, a severed, monstrous arm slams onto the blood-splattered ground. Standing with one arm, a shirtless General Huo is admonished by a horrified Wu Jun, who shouts, "Your arm!" General Huo smiles proudly through the pain, declaring Wu Jun the most exceptional warrior who will one day become the world's greatest demon general. Roar! Engulfed in a vortex of flames, General Huo commands his son that he must survive. General Huo realizes the human's weapon must come from the abyss of sin after slaying an SSS-class demon king, as the blonde commander complains that blocking his sword is no fun. As General Huo walks into darkness and Wu Jun into fire, the narration states that not even the entire Yun kingdom could match this foe. Grinning with resolve, General Huo declares he has kept a final trump card, an absolute defense to protect the kingdom's future. But Wu Jun cries out in anguish, realizing with horror that this trump card is his father's life. Wu Jun tearfully asks if sacrifice is truly required, as a system window reveals General Huo's ultimate skill, nuclear fission, wall of life, which burns life for an indestructible barrier. With fiery cracks spreading across his skin, General Huo's face is a mask of grim determination. Recalling his vow to protect his son and the Yin Kingdom with his life, General Huo forcefully shoves Wu Jun and his aide to safety, yelling at them to go. The older aide restrains a screaming Wu Jun, begging him not to waste the general's sacrifice, while Wu Jun furiously refuses to leave his father behind. Looking down on the sacrifice, the blonde commander scoffs, annoyed that their performance has yet to satisfy him. He raises his crackling golden sword, eager to see their despairing expressions. A voice cries out, warning the general not to strike as the blonde commander looks on. The commander smirks, deciding they can't be allowed to die so easily. A masked demon with a sinister grin appears holding a glowing demon core, revealing the fools were guarding nothing more than this. The traitorous demon presents the core, asking if he can now join the human army in exchange for it. The scene shifts, focusing on a new white-haired protagonist, wreathed in mystical blue energy, marking the start of a new chapter. The white-haired man and his party of armored warriors arrive at the glowing red maw of a massive cave, which he identifies as the entrance. A bearded chieftain tells the white-haired man that this is where the abnormalities started, and where his son, Xiaoshang, escaped from. A warrior screams in a panic, reporting that monsters are already emerging from at least 5 other demon caves. The white-haired man concludes this is no simple accident, while the chieftain grimly reminds him that he warned him it was the evil. The white-haired man asks the chieftain if anyone else was with his son when he went into the cave. The chieftain sadly confirms that his son's Uncle Ahu and an adventure team were with him, but only Xiaoshang made it out alive. The white-haired man asks if there were no elders present, and the chieftain explains that their army is composed of young men, with Ahu being the oldest. The white-haired man wonders to himself if his father-in-law also entered this cave. A massive dragon soars over a vast, green forest, a memory of a different time and place. The white-haired man asks if anyone has entered the other caves, but the chieftain confirms he has them all guarded. Looking at the glowing red entrance, the white-haired man speculates his father-in-law must have entered this cave, just at a different time. Dismissing the thought for now, the white-haired man decides they must go in and investigate. A wolf-eared warrior protests, yelling that it's too dangerous to rush in without any preparation. The chieftain grabs the warrior's arm, asking if he hasn't figured it out yet. He reveals his faith, stating that the white-haired man is a god sent from the heavens, just like in the battle a decade ago. A vision shows a winged god descending to face a colossal fiery demon, as the chieftain narrates that a god always comes to save the spirit race in times of crisis. Back in the present, the chieftain confidently declares that all they need to do is trust in their god. The chieftain's confident expression vanishes, replaced by one of wide-eyed shock. A horde of vicious, red-eyed monsters erupts from the darkness of the cave. The armored soldiers recoil in terror, recognizing the outsiders as S-rank freaks. The white-haired man coolly confirms his suspicions. The demons from outside did indeed come from the demon cave. Wondering where they came from, he decides he can't delay, and unleashes a massive blast of blue energy from his hand. The energy beam annihilates the horde, leaving the soldiers speechless as a notification confirms over 99 kills. The chieftain roars with vindicated excitement, screaming, "See, I told you, he's a god." He rallies his men to keep up as the white-haired man dashes forward, who glances back with a look of surprise. A grotesquely mutated demon, wearing a familiar fur cloak, lunges from the darkness. The chieftain and his soldier cry out in horror, recognizing the monster as their chief of staff, and wondering what happened to him. A warrior identifies the other transformed monsters as Captain Hugh and their former comrades from the adventure team, now standing before them as enemies. The chieftain snarls with grim certainty, declaring that those things are no longer their comrades. The white-haired man calmly explains that the transformation of the spirit race members is a dark-type ability. Roar. The monstrous chief of staff glares with glowing red eyes, erupting with dark power. The monstrous chief of staff roars, completing his demon armorization and erupting in a maelstrom of red demonic energy. The bearded chieftain recoils in shock, realizing their foe can force corpses to undergo demon armorization, a power his soldier has never heard of. He begins to explain the lore, stating that in the beginning, the world was divided only between humans and demons. The narration continues over an image of a human and a demon, explaining that all demons once operated from within the demon caves. Under the influence of magic, the demons evolved into 3 distinct civilizations: the spirit race, the demon race, and the evil race. However, as a wolf-eared girl is shown, the narration explains that this growth in intelligence came with a decline in raw power. To reclaim their strength, some learn the forbidden technique of demon armorization, a power boost capable of turning the tide of battle instantly. The price for this power is absolute. The user loses all wisdom and memory, devolving into the most primitive form of a demon. The chieftain finishes his explanation, noting grimly that the power of demon armorization is completely irreversible. A nearby soldier worries about the terrifying power the already strong chief of staff must now possess. Roar. The transformed chief of staff lunges forward in a blur of rage and destruction. The white-haired man moves in a flash, intercepting the monstrous creature head-on. With a devastating slash of blue energy, he obliterates the attacking monsters, leaving the chieftain and his men speechless and exclaiming that they were wiped out in an instant. Standing amid clouds of dissipating energy, the white-haired man warns that, unlike the previous puppets, these foes cannot be killed. As the monster begins to reform, he yells for the others to retreat, warning that its poison will transform them and that they regenerate almost instantly. The white-haired man's expression turns grave as he admits he only knows one person capable of such powerful dark magic. A memory flashes to a long-haired, white-haired warrior facing a cloaked demon lord surrounded by his hellish army. The lone warrior stands surrounded by the horde on a barren, cracked wasteland. Wounded and exhausted, the long-haired warrior leans on his sword, struggling to stay on his feet. A scarred man with shattered glasses coldly commands a defeated howling to stop struggling. A system window identifies the mastermind, a grim-faced man with a goatee, as the SSS rank Dark Archmage, Heimu.